Good afternoon, everyone. My name is DeAndre. I am one of the members of the housing operations team here in the Office of Residence Life. We are going to get started. Before we do, I just want to let everyone know that this meeting is being recorded, just so you're aware of what's happening. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our presentation. Feel free to drop questions in the chat. We have one of our members of our housing operations team, office assistants, who will be on hand to answer certain questions in the chat. We will also have a section of this session where we will have open questions for all people in the chat present to ask questions, as well as some questions that have been pre-submitted. So again, if you have questions, we're here to answer your questions today. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our session. All right, so as you can see, this is our housing operations team. Again, myself, DeAndre Grant, I am the Assistant Director of Central Operations. So in my position, I lead the housing operations team. We typically anything that has to do with signing up for housing, with following up on maintenance requests, billing, off season housing. We work with all of those items. Tiffany Robertson is our housing operations manager. She works with myself and the office assistant. She supervises our office assistants. Our office assistants are student employees who help out at our front desk in the office. They also help us carry out some administrative tasks, and they also host programs 2 times per semester. So we're just going to go into talking a little bit about our on-campus living. First up, just the buildings that are available on campus and who lives there. So we have Founders Green, which is consistent of Carter Hall, Spear Hall, Leak Hall, and Glaze Hall. Currently, Glaze Hall is offline, but for our 2024-2025 academic year, our first year students will be housed in Carter Hall and Spear Hall. If you look at this photo, it's the two buildings on the one on the right and the one on the left. And then the one in the center is Latrobe Hall. That is also where you can find our office. So this will be a very important area of campus for you to know. In Leak Hall, we have our first year fellows program, as well as sophomore students and exchange students. Our transfer students, we will do our best to house with their respective class years to make their experience here a little easier. For our upper class communities, we have the Meyerhoff House, which is the building pictured on the bottom. That building houses sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And then the building on the top is the Gateway. The Gateway is hosting our juniors, seniors, and graduate students for this academic year. So next, I want to go a little bit into our housing timeline. Um, as you all may have known, we will be going back to our traditional housing assignments for our new students. What that means is that we will assign you based on the profiles that were put together during your application process in the housing portal, as well as the roommate groups that were created. We will be honoring those roommate groups for this housing process as well. So this is what the remainder of the housing timeline looks like. So next week, room assignments will be released to students. So everybody next week will find out where they will be living when they join us in August. July 15th is our housing application deadline. So the housing application will close on this day. So we just ask, if you haven't completed it yet, please complete your housing application. If you're not sure whether or not it's completed and the housing portal might be a little tricky to understand, please send us an email, and we will respond to your email to let you know where you are in the application process if your application hasn't been completed. Also, July 15th is when exemption forms are due. Any student who is a first year or a sophomore is required to live on campus, but there are some people who are granted an exemption, based on the criteria that's listed in the housing portal as well as on our website. And we will review all exemptions up until July 15th. On August 1st at 10 a.m., the move-in appointments will be available on the housing portal. You will go in and you will pick a time where you will move into the residence halls. And what that basically does is help us to give everybody an equal chance to be able to use the carts. We are working with a limited amount of carts, and we have so many people moving into Founders Green on the 21st. So we want to make sure that we have enough time for each student to be able to use the move-in carts while they're moving in. August 14th is the final date of housing agreement changes. If any changes need to be made, for instance, if you need to go from a double to a single, this would be the time that it would happen. This is not the only opportunity. We will also have opportunities during our room change process during the fall semester. It will be in October. And more information, you'll get more information in September. I'll be sending out a comprehensive email with all the information for our room change form. Next up on our list is August 16th at 4 p.m. is when the move-in appointments will close. If you do not get a chance to sign up for your move-in appointment by August 16th, please just send us an email and we will make sure that we assist you with getting a move-in time. On August 21st is our favorite day of the year because that's when all of our new residents will move into campus. Our entire staff, including our RAs, our office assistants, and all of our professional staff, we will be on hand to help you and to welcome you into our residential community and help pointing people in certain directions. You'll get to meet your RA during that day, and you'll have an opportunity to we'll be giving out raffles. We will have giveaways. So it'll be a great day. It'll be a long day, of course, because we do recognize there's also orientation. And then also we have a session on August 21st in the evening called Home Sweet Home, where we will be giving you even more information about living in our residence hall. So this is just to prep you to get there. We wanted to share some information with the students so that we can you don't feel like you're all the way in the dark before moving on campus. This is our opportunity to share some information with you. So, getting prepared for move-in. We have a list of items to bring and then items that are prohibited. As you can see, we provide a full-size refrigerator for the entire unit to share. An apartment size range, it's a stove and an oven, but it's the large one that would be typically found in a house. It would be a smaller version of that. It still has four eyes and an oven, and it's an electric stove top. We provide the bed frame and the mattress. The mattresses are twin extra long. I know that's always a question when students are beginning to prep for move-in. The mattresses are twin extra long. Um, we also provide window blinds in each of the rooms as well, so that you can adjust them as you need them, let the light in, bring a little bit of light back out, but that is available for all of our students. We do provide either a wardrobe or a closet. Some spaces have a built-in closet, and for the spaces that don't have built-in closets, they do have wardrobes, and there's one for each student in their bedroom. Kitchen table and chairs is also provided. We provide a kitchen table and one chair per resident. So typically each unit will have up to four chairs with the table so residents can sit and eat meals together, study together, just entertain or anything that they want to do within that space, that each of them agree on, that's what will be available. And as far as the living room, these are the items that we suggest. A note on the floor lamps that you see here, the multi-arm lamps are not permitted. So if you're looking for lamp for your room, please do not bring lamps with multi-arms, just with one arm. And we suggest a television. Some students will bring a television for their room, and in comparison, some units will bring one television to put into the common space. But again, this is all about what the residents of the space decide that they would like. Um, plants are always a nice touch. If you have some, you are more than welcome to bring those. They also sell small plants in the MICA store if you're interested in putting some plants inside of your space. A vacuum cleaner, it's not 100% necessary, but either a vacuum cleaner or a broom and dustpan would be helpful while you're in your space. None of our rooms are carpeted. They're all tile floors, so you'll be able to clean it easier. Mop and bucket is also highly suggested, especially because we have spaces like the kitchen and the bathrooms within the units that are the responsibility of the residents to keep clean. So definitely bring those items. Flashlights in the event that you might need it. There might be an issue where you might need to see some space that doesn't have a light. Always bring a flashlight. Nature is a real thing, and sometimes it's a possibility the lights might go out for some reason. So always be prepared with a flashlight and definitely batteries as well. In the bathroom, of course, your toiletries, your bath towel and washcloth, a bath rug, your first aid kit, cleaning supplies, a small trash can, and a plunger. For the bedrooms, linens, of course, are again twin extra long for those of you who need to know what to purchase. Again, it's twin extra long. Mattress pad also is a suggestion, just to adjust your level of comfort as you sleep. Pillows and pillowcases, blankets, alarm clock, clothing, of course. Computer desk and chair. My advice with the computer desk is to try to get a laptop desk because those are typically smaller. The singles are typically meant to fit one person in it. So we don't want to bring like an executive size desk or an L-shaped desk. Just a laptop desk should be sufficient for our spaces. And of course, a lamp to put on the desk if you like to, if you're up late working or you prefer the lamp light instead of the main light that's on the ceiling. That's an option to kind of set a different atmosphere in the room. Area rugs are also encouraged. Again, these are tile floors, so sometimes they might be a little cold when you first get up in the morning. So, an area rug will be definitely helpful for that. A laundry basket for your laundry, and an ironing board as well. As far as kitchen items, these are things to bring. With this, we highly recommend you speak with your apartment mates prior to arrival. So there's not too many of one thing. Everyone can kind of make a decision on what's best for them to bring as they come to campus. And then at the end of the year, who's going to take what. So I highly suggest with these things, just get in contact with your apartment mates so you all will be on the same page. Specifically, we don't want to see three microwaves in one unit. We just want to see one that everyone is kind of sharing. Toaster oven, air fryer. Bring appliances that have auto off features. Those are the best appliances to bring for your kitchen. For instance, like if you bring a kettle, just make sure it auto turns off as soon as it's done boiling. Air fryers, of course, typically turn off. Toaster oven, same thing. So anything that's going to be auto off would be the best thing for you to bring to campus. If you have any specific questions about specific appliances, please feel free to ask during this session, during our questions portion, or send us an email after the session and we'll be glad to assist you with that. So now we have our list of prohibited items. The items that are prohibited here, the first two, the incense and candles, those we have very sensitive smoke detectors within each unit. They're in the bedrooms, they're in the common areas, and they're in the kitchen, and this is for everyone's safety. So these things are not permitted in the residence hall, as the incense and candles will trigger those alarms, and then everyone will be outside regardless of time. So we want to just be mindful and be safe at the same time. Um, Replica or real weapons. Real weapons are not permitted on campus. Replica weapons are not permitted except for in cases where we do recognize that students have certain projects that may require this. So my advice would be to just reach out to our office to let us know if that's the case so that when health and safety inspections come around, it won't get confiscated because it is an item that you need for a course. String lights are prohibited, completely prohibited. We see these as a major fire hazard, and so to make it easier, instead of differentiating in between different lights, we just say no string lights at all. As I mentioned before, no multi-arm lamps. no lava lamps, no explosive material. We have some closets within our studio spaces, flammable closets for your spray paint and your Gamasol and all of those items. You can store them there, but you can't store them within your room or within your apartment. Illegal drugs are prohibited. Any drug paraphernalia is prohibited. Only pets that we permit on campus are fish in a 10-gallon tank. And then we have emotional support animals, but those are not recognized as pets. Those are recognized as a housing accommodation that's approved by the Office of Accessibility and Disability Service, and then registered with our office. Space heaters are also prohibited. Again, those are one of those quick things that will start a fire, so we just prohibit those. Kerosene heaters, fireworks, crossbows, and bow and arrows. Any large furniture and prescription drugs that are not prescribed to you. Those are all of the things not to bring when you join us next month. If you like, you can scan this QR code. I'll stop for a second. So if you would like to scan, and it will take you to a PDF of these items that we just reviewed so that you can have it as you're starting to pack for your arrival on campus. On this, you can see it says, be sure to pass your health and safety inspections. Any prohibited items will be confiscated. So we do health and safety inspections in the fall semester and in the spring semester. And during that time, we are just making sure that all the residents are in compliance with those items that are prohibited and the items that are allowed to have within your room and in your apartment. So our team of RAs will be coming around to inspect the apartments, and anything that's confiscated, you can get back. You'll have until the end of the academic year, which is May 2025, before the residence halls close, to retrieve your items. You could also retrieve them at the end of the fall semester to take them home as well. Anything that's confiscated, again, we won't keep permanently. We'll give it back to you so that you can take it home. If you're not sure about a particular item, again, please reach out to us and ask as soon as possible, and we will assist you as best as we can. Contacting roommates. So once you receive your housing assignment, please reach out to your roommates. Doing this in advance, it just gives you a chance to start bonding with each other, especially if you're in a situation where you're in a room with people you didn't select. For instance, if you didn't have a roommate group and we assign you based on your portal preferences, this would be the opportunity for you to start conversing with your new apartment mates, and then everyone can have a conversation about who's bringing what. As you can see these examples here, who'll bring the TV for the common area, who'll bring the coffee maker or the air fryer for the kitchen. So just reaching out and having those kind of conversations prior to your arrival will be very helpful to the success of the unit. Just as a reminder, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, which is also known as FERPA, is a law that protects the privacy of our students and their records. So we do not share any information outside of directory information with any external person or entity. There are certain things where there are certain times where we will have to share this information, but in that event, we will let the student, I mean, we will make sure that it's in line with what we are allowed to share. The things that we will not share are listed here. And again, exceptions will be made in life-threatening situations regardless of age. So as a reminder, move-in is going to be August 21st, 2024. We will be sending a welcome email out after we send out housing assignments to let everyone know about what this date again, as well as when we will start. Again, you will arrive during your appointment time and you'll be able to start your move-in process. Prior to your move-in process, you will need to do your check-in and get your room keys. But again, we will be on hand to make sure that we have those things for you. Your move-in appointments, you can start booking on August 1st at 9 a.m. and we will keep that open until August 16th at 4 p.m. Again, if you are not able to select the room in time, you just send us an email and we will help you to set up an appointment to come in and move on campus. All right. Now my favorite part of this, we have questions. We have some pre-asked questions, so we're going to start with those, and then after those, we'll open up the floor for any additional questions. So the first group of questions, are there places to put up or lock bikes? Yes, there is. We have bike racks in each of the residential spaces. You can lock up your bikes there. We do not allow students to lock up bikes on the outer exterior of buildings unless there is a bike rack there. If it's like for instance, locked to a gate, that lock will be cut and the bike will be removed. So just make sure that you're locking it in the right place. When you come in again and have your first meeting with your RAs, they will tell you the exact location of these things on campus. As a transfer student, can you dorm with current students, as well as how does dorming work with transfer students coming from UArts? That is a great question. As a transfer student, you can room with current students that are in your class year. So if you are a transfer student who is coming in as a sophomore, junior, well, let's start at first year because we do have first year transfers. So anywhere from first year up to senior, you can live with your class. We will make accommodations to make sure that you are able to live with your class. The same thing with transfer students coming from UArts, whatever class year you're in, we're making adjustments to make sure that you're able to live within the buildings that are designated for your class year. Can we bring microwaves and desktop computers? Yes. Again, reach out to your apartment and figure out who wants to provide the microwave for the space, and how that will be shared. Desktop computers, yes. Again, you can. I would suggest that if you have a desktop computer, it goes in your room and not into any common space, just for security and safety purposes. I would suggest leaving that within your specific bedroom. How and where to ship dorm room items, i.e., bedding, clothing, etc., ahead of arrival on August 21st. Okay, so in order to ship things prior to your arrival, you will ship it to the building that you will be living in, and you can ship it beginning the same week that you move in. So around August 18th, 19th, you can start shipping items here. And then on August 21st, when you arrive, after you have secured your ID, because that's going to be needed, you can go to the designated mailroom. For most of our students here, I'm pretty sure it will be Founders Green. So on the lower level of Carter Hall is the mailroom for Carter Hall, Spear Hall, and Leak Hall. So you can all go there. In Gateway, it's in the lobby, and in Meyerhoff House, it's also in the lobby. So everyone has a mailroom within their residential community where you can pick up any items that you've had shipped to you prior to your arrival. Again, specific mailing information will be provided in your assignment letter as well. So you'll have it as early as next week, what the exact address of where you will ship these items to. Again, they will start receiving items on August 19th. I'm in a four-person group, and one of my roommates has requested a housing accommodation for a single room. How will apartment layout selection work for my group when the time comes? Another great question. By law, we are required under the Americans with Disabilities Act to provide any housing accommodations approved by our Office of Accessibility and Disability Services. So those students will be placed in, if they're in a roommate group, the roommate group will be placed with them, as long as as long as the space meets that person's approved accommodations, the rest of the roommate group will be placed with them as well. So you will again see what your housing assignment is. If you already have an approved accommodation, we are working feverishly to make sure that we are providing the correct housing accommodations that have been approved. Is there a payment plan for housing? Can you use pins to hang stuff up on the wall? There is payment plans, but we in our office do not take any payments. So the best way to find out what those payment plans look like would be to contact the Office of Student Accounts. All payments that you will make that pertain to residence life will go through them. So that would be the best place to get that question answered. And I can answer the second part of this question though. We have had students use pins to hang stuff up on the wall. We don't charge students for little push pin holes in the wall at the end of the year. But egregious damages, yes, but push pins, no. So feel free to use the push pins to hang things up on the wall. What tips do you have to help out of state students and families with the logistics of getting essentials for moving? Another great question. So typically during orientation, they offer shuttles to Target so that people are able to go buy the essentials that they might need. So once you get your orientation schedule, follow that schedule. Will let you know when those shuttles are happening. If you want to mail stuff in advance, that's also an option. It would just need to be shipped, well, not shipped, but delivered during the week of the 19th. If it arrives a little earlier, I'm sure our postal and print team will hold on to it, but we're encouraging everyone to start having things shipped here starting August 19th. When do I know about room and roommates? Next week. Next week, by the end of the week, all new students that have already completed their application will have a housing assignment. We will continue to house people after this, and that is because we did extend our deadline for our housing application until July 15th. So we'll continue to house people after next week. So if there is a chance that there's a change in your space, if there's a chance that someone else was added, if someone else was moved, if we changed out a person, we will communicate with not only that person, but we will also communicate with anyone else in the unit should there be any changes. At this time, those are all the questions that were submitted. Now I will open up the floor for any other questions that anyone might have.
I just sent one via the message, but
Chat.
my daughter already has three roommates.
Mhm.
Considering what, there's two? Oh, okay, so it's her and someone else. But considering the new students that are coming in from UArts, how many more will they have in their room?
So all of our apartments only accommodate up to four students. So each apartment will have up to a total of four students in it.
So it's likely that they'll have it, or you already know that she will be having two more coming in.
So if they will, we are aiming to fill all of the spaces up to the capacity of four that it can take. So if they already have if they have two other roommates and there's still another spot, what we use is the profile questions that were asked during the housing application process. We use that, and our housing software matches the percentage up for us to tell us how much of a percentage everyone in the space will be as a match.
Okay, so she has three, she said.
Oh, she has three already.
It's her and two others. So she was just checking to see if they're gonna add one more because they don't know who it is, or do they
Yes,
pick?
so we typically we will add another person in, but again, it will be based off of everyone's answers on their lifestyle preferences within their housing application.
But from now till move in, she can find someone that matches that because there's
Um,
three. So they
If
can
if they find someone on their own that they would like to request, I would say sooner is better than later because again, we're going to be assigning spaces next week. So if they have a request by next week, I would say send it in before then. If they have it now, go ahead and email it. If not, and they find someone during the week next week, and it's before they've received their housing assignment, we will honor those.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I see someone ask, can we loft the beds in Founders Green and can I hang things from the ceiling? No, we do not permit you to hang things from the ceiling or the sprinkler system. Those are very, very sensitive. And if one is set off, it will set off an entire floor. So we want to avoid hanging things from those. Again, when you have your health and safety inspections, your RAs will check on that. And if there are things hanging, they'll ask you to remove them. As far as lofting the beds in Founders Green, it's possible. We would just need you if that's something that you would like. Send us an email. We're taking a list of requests and we're going to share them with our facilities management team. And if it's possible, they will make it happen. If they can't, then again, we will communicate with you and let you know. So please send in those things via email because we are tracking them to make sure that we can follow up in the event that we need to. Laura asks, do we need to do anything on our end when getting assigned dorms, or will we just get placed somewhere? So you will be placed. Again, it's based on if you have a roommate group, we're going to honor the roommate group. If your roommate group is not a four-person roommate group, we will add someone else or two other people to make the roommate group, to make the apartment full, which is four people. So if that's the case, we will again use your profile. So please make sure that all of your preferences are up to date. I know you're all still new, but if there's anything that's changed from the time you applied until now, you might have a different view on things, or you might want to make that change. Please let us know before we begin assigning people to their spaces. Um, Convert. Oh, that was already answered. Okay. Will we have to move out bigger furniture like a desk table during vacations? That's a great question. So the space that you will be assigned to next week, that will be your space from August until May. We do have a time where we close in between the semesters, but we will let you know. But I can also let you know now. You only take what you need for the break. So the break is from December 16th to I believe it's January 17th or somewhere around then. So you would just take what you needed for that break time. You wouldn't have to completely move out.
Hi, DeAndre.
Yes.
I wanted to add on to about the pets and how we don't accept anything other than like an ESA or that type of animal. Also, as far as visiting pets, they cannot come into the dorms if they're not an ESA.
Correct. For those of you who don't know, that was Tiffany. She's our housing operations manager. She's also a great resource when you have questions. Alrighty, we'll keep going. Um, if I requested a single room, will I have a single room, or would another person be added to my room to meet the capacity of four people? That's a good question. Again, the capacity is four, but the configurations vary. So we have some spaces where there are four singles. We have some spaces where there are two singles and a double. We have so it just depends on. We have spaces where there are two doubles. So it just depends on the configuration of for a single room, whether or not you receive a single room. But again, you know when you get your housing assignment. So if you see your housing assignment and it has so basically the housing assignment reads the building, the apartment number, and the room letter. If your room letter has a one or a two after it, then you are in a double. If you do not have a number after that letter, then that means you're in a single. That's the best way to read it. That'll also be within your housing letter on how to read the housing assignment that's there. Should I be protecting things like books or electronics in some way in case sprinklers do go off? That is a great question. My suggestion, and I know Tiffany will agree with this, is to get renter's insurance in the case that anything happens to any of your stuff. That would be the best way to protect yourself, is to have renter's insurance. We do have information for one company. It's called National Student Services Incorporated. They do provide very, very affordable renters insurance, and theirs goes so far as to if you crack your phone, that's covered. So it's a thing to look into. We can definitely also include that information when we send out your housing assignment as well, so that you're able to look into some renters insurance. I've been in this field almost 10 years, and in every residence hall I've lived in, I've had renters insurance because when I was a student, a tree fell through my room and I didn't have it. So after that, I learned my lesson. So if you can, definitely get renters insurance. Will FYF students also get to know about their roommates next week? Yes, all new students will know about their roommates next week. We aim to have everyone their housing assignment next week, except for again anyone um, who completes after next week, because again our deadline is the 15th. So anybody who's completed their application after next week, so during on the 15th, we will assign them that following week. I do see this question, so I do want to kind of address it, even though Lauren already answered it about firefighting. As Lauren mentioned, we have fire drills on campus. We have one fire drill per semester, and we will typically, the alarm will go off, the students will go to the designated location, and then our environmental health and safety department will typically do some review with the students, talk about how to use a fire extinguisher. A fire station is a couple of blocks away, so in the event that the alarms go off, the response time is quick. They will be there in the event of an emergency. So no one can visit the dorms at all for all years or just the first year. So we do allow visitors. So what was being said was that if you have a visitor with a pet, the pet is not allowed within the residence hall. But visitors are always welcome. Visitors are your responsibility. Again, you will hear the entire visitors spiel during our home sweet home session, but visitors will be your responsibility. They will need to stay with you if you have to go to class. You will need to sign them out, and then they can sign back in when you're there, but they need to be with you at all times. Um, can parents help move in furniture? Yes, absolutely. We welcome families to help you move in because they're going to be leaving you with us and they're for the majority of the year. So yes, they can come in and help you move in. There's parent orientation happening. There's a family farewell. So there are things to do during move-in day for our families as well. So yes, definitely bring your families to help you move in. And I like saying hi to all the families. So yes, I would love to say hi to your families and meet them when you're here. Let me see if I see any more questions that have not.
And I moved into the 55 and older next door. I qualify. My daughter says no, but I qualify.
Well, I would say if you pop up and you're here to get signed in as a visitor, she might not know that you're right there. I did put my okay. Right. Jade, Jade Ortega, I see your question. I don't want to answer that because that's kind of like a personal thing. So please send that in an email to me, and I will answer your question offline, so that I can give you a better answer. Okay. Um, let's see, do we have any more questions? I'm trying to find possible roommates slash groups, but I'm not sure where I can find them. I assume it's on the Housing and Residence Life webpage, but I can't see anything about the roommate search. So if you go into your housing portal, once your application process is complete, it'll say roommates. So you can go there and it'll match you. It'll give you up to 10 matches based on those same questions that I mentioned about the lifestyle preferences. That's how they will help you find roommates. If you're going to create a roommate group, please do it before this week is out, as we again will be housing next week. So if a group is created next week, we won't be able to honor it because we'll have already started the process. So if you're looking to form a roommate group, please go ahead and do it through the end of this week. Is there any possibility that the July 8th room assignment will have considered the ADS accommodations, or will a student have to anticipate waiting until August to find out a room assignment? All students that are coming in will have a room assignment during the week of July 8th. So we're saying the week of because not all of them will be sent on July 8th. Again, it's myself and Tiffany and trying to make sure everyone is in a space that works for them. So we're going to be releasing room assignments each day next week. So by Friday around 3 o'clock, if you don't see a room assignment, don't fret. Reach out to us to ask. But we will have them done. But again, if you don't see it, it might be something that we need to go in and check. It might be something where the application might be in a status, but we're missing a piece of it. So whatever it is, again, if you just want to be sure, you can go in and check. If you look where your housing application is in the housing portal, and it tells you have signed the contract and your housing application is complete, then you should be good. But again, if you just want to be sure, feel free to send us an email to find out. Will toasters be available? No, but you are allowed to bring your own toaster. Are we allowed to bring wax melts or essential oil diffusers? Wax melts, no. Essential oil diffusers, as long as it has an auto off, you should be fine. An international student, and I was wondering if I could be able to move into residence on August 14th. Please reach out to your admission counselor if you need early move-in. And we're typically trying to accommodate those. For instance, we have our international students who might need to come in earlier. We're trying our best to accommodate those. So please send the request to your admission counselor, and they'll communicate with our office to let us know who will need early move-in. All right. If anybody else has any questions, you feel free to come off mute and ask your questions. Oh, I see one more. Can we have overnight guests and for how long? Yes, you can have overnight guests. You are permitted to have overnight guests up to 12 nights. So 12 nights per semester, we are permitting you to have overnight guests. They need to be signed in and out. We have campus safety at the front of in Latrobe House. There's campus safety for those of you who be living in Carter and Spear. If you're going to be living in Leek, there's also a campus safety officer there. And then in Meyerhoff House and the Gateway, there's also a campus safety officer 24 hours a day to assist our students and to be on hand to make sure that our residential communities and our MICA community at large is safe. Do we have in-unit laundry? No, we do not, but there is, for those of you who will be living in Founders Green, there is a laundry center in Glace Hall across from the Glace Grill. Again, that might be foreign to you right now, but once you get here, you'll get to see it in person. That is for the entire Founders Green community. You will have money preloaded onto your ID for you to be able to wash and dry your clothes on campus, but you will need to provide your own laundry detergent, etc., that you might use to clean your clothes. And once that money that's provided runs out, then you will be responsible for your own laundry. After that money runs out, we refill it every semester. So our best advice would be to just try to ration it out as best as you can. And it resets at the end of every semester. If you do need to pay out of pocket for some reason, it's $1.50 per wash cycle and $1.50 for 45 minutes of drying. And you can use coins for that, or you can add the money through the Get app. Okay, let's see. Will we be given a more detailed schedule for moving and orientation day? Yes, you will. So the orientation committee will send out more information on orientation. As far as moving, you'll have more information in your move-in letter, as well as in the welcome letter that's going to come to you at the beginning of August. What is the printing situation like? We don't offer printers in the residence halls. I do know that there are some on campus. In specific places like the library. There is a tech center on Mount Royal Avenue. There's printing available there. There's also a computer lab in there. So there are places on campus for you to be able to print. Also, if you wanted to bring your own printer to connect within your room, you're more than welcome to do that as well. These are great questions. Anybody else have any questions they'd like to ask?
I have a question. Do they need to bring hangers or would like S hooks work better?
Hangers, because they'll have like a regular rod that they can use to hang them on.
Okay, thank you. And no dresser, right?
We provide them with a dresser, yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Elisha, I saw you had your hand raised as well.
Yes, hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Oh yes, I got a question. If the kids still have a single room, are they allowed to have like a surveillance camera in the room to keep for safety?
I've not had that question before, so
Oh,
I will. That's a good question. I don't want to answer it and be loud and wrong, so I will get an answer. If you could just send us an email about that too, just so I can be sure to follow up with your question. But definitely want to get your question answered as well.
okay. And also, what about a lock for like if they get a single room, a lock for their specific room door?
So every
Or just
room
for,
door has a lock on it already.
oh, okay, great. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So I have a question.
Yes.
As far as with parents when we're dropping off our precious load there,
Mhm.
when are we kicked out?
So it'll be on the orientation schedule. It's a family farewell. I think it's sometime in the late afternoon or early evening. So you have quite amount of time, but again, there's parent orientation happening as well. So it'll be on the schedule exactly when the family farewell is, and then after that, there'll be some activities and things for the students to do.
So are we able to help like unpack our kids with their stuff and so forth?
Yeah, so typically the way moving day works is you will have a spot in the main parking lot where you can unload your students' items. Once that's done, you'll take your car to another parking lot, and a shuttle will bring you back to Founders Green, essentially for all our first year students. It'll bring you back. And then you can be with them there for the rest of the day. But we have a very small lot within the Founders Green area, so we try to move cars in and out as quick as possible. So you unload, you drop your car off, and then you can come back and help them.
So is it fair to say basically the move-in is going to happen in the morning versus the afternoon, just because we're about 5 hours away?
Yes, so moving will happen in the morning, and typically we end like moving appointments. I know we'll end those around 2-ish, but you don't have to use that whole time. Like there's other things that'll be going on, orientation events that'll be going on. There'll be lunch on the green, so a bunch of different things are happening during the day. So you go in, you can do the move-in part, and then take part in the rest of the day.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
I can hop in also. I'm Lauren, I'm in OA. And I transferred 2 years ago. So I came in during a winter, like at the end of the winter semester. So I transferred in starting in that January. But my parents came and moved me in. And so they just got a hotel, and just stayed for the weekend. So outside, there wasn't that much orientation happening just because, it was coming off the break and it was only a few of us transferring in anyways. So outside of all the orientation events, like my parents just helped me. Like we went to Target, we went to Walmart, just got some stuff like, toilet paper, some extra sheets, some extra pillows and stuff like that. And, I just kind of ended up spending the weekend, all the errands that I kind of complain about at home. I just spent that weekend running those errands with them, spending as much time with them as I can. And they headed off for the weekend and I had class on Monday. So, just kind of there's also orientation stuff, but also, take the time in the in between while you're running around. Like we also didn't have a broom, so we just went to Dollar General and just, those last moments to cherish. But there's still stuff for everyone to kind of be doing throughout the whole time.
Okay, that's good because I've packed up my child and she's just like, Mom, I don't need to take this. I could buy it there. And I said, why? When I have everything here. I'm like I have like OCD when it comes to stuff like that. So when we travel overseas, we're all set. I don't need to run her around getting anything. So that's why it's like I'm packing her up and she's just like, I don't need this, I don't need that. And I was like, no, better safe than sorry and take everything as long as I can help like unpack her and get her all organized. And then I can let her sail on her own.
Sorry, I have a question about moving earlier. I just want to make sure I will able to move in the August 20th. Yeah.
Reach out to your admission counselor and let them know that you would like to request.
Yeah, I already emailed them and he told me I can move in early.
Okay, then you should be good to go.
Orientation.
If they've already approved, if your admission counselor approved you, then you should already be on our early arrivals list.
Okay, thank you.
Send us an email to ensure that we have you on the list. I'll put our email address in the chat for everyone. So that is our email address. Please feel free to email us with questions. We're here awaiting your questions and we want to help you all be able to move in have a smooth move in, as smooth as possible. So any questions, don't feel like you can't ask us. Please feel free to ask us. We want to make sure, again, that this is a memorable experience for you and your families as well, because they'll be joining us to help you move in. So we want to make sure everyone has a memorable experience this day. I see we have questions about where you find your student number. Lauren, if you could help us out with that, because I'm not 100% sure where you located prior to your arrival.
I believe it should have been sent in an email. The same email where you get your MICA credentials, they tell you what that is, like what your MICA email will be and like how to set up the password. It should have been in that. But if you're still having trouble finding it, you should reach out to, I believe, help desk, but I'm not sure if they've sent those out already. But the help desk is help@mica.edu. I'll send it here. Haven't gotten an email yet. So who do I talk to about that? Okay. Yeah, if you're having trouble with like your MICA credentials or trying to like log in with stuff, the help desk is like our IT department. And you can email them and they also are working over the summer and should be able to like hop right on that and help you guys.
I like to add in there, Lauren, in reference to if you're having difficulties logging in with your MICA credentials, try logging in with your personal credentials and then see how far that gets you, because that might be the problem as well. And then if you're not getting anywhere, then reach out to the help desk.
Oh, I saw a few people say that it should have been with your application portal or in your acceptance letter. I do think that's also true, but I haven't looked at my acceptance letter in a long time.
Well, that's wonderful. I've learned something today here too, so I'm glad. We have another question asking about how the shuttles work. Are they at specific times around the campus? So the shuttle system, there are two arms of our shuttle system throughout the academic year. This is not the ones that you'll see during orientation. Those are specifically for orientation. But throughout the academic year, we have the circulators. And basically what the circulator will do is route around campus. Some will need to go across to the film center, across North Avenue. So there's a shuttle that goes that way, and there's one that will take you as far as this MICA station building. So there are two different circulators that operate throughout the day. And then in the evening, there are safety shuttles that will take you where you need to go. You will just need to download the app. The name of it is escaping me right now, but there's an app where you can download the app and it'll tell you you can request a shuttle from that app and it'll pick you up on campus and take you where you need to go. And those shuttles run through the late night so that students who are needing to go, for instance, to Penn Station or to the light rail, they'll get there safely. There are also some Saturdays where they do shuttles to either Target or H Mart, and that schedule will also be available once you move in on campus. Once we have the schedule for the upcoming year, it'll also be posted at the front desk of each residence hall. So there, the heights of the beds for storage varies because the beds are adjustable. So there are different levels that you can have the beds at. If you're looking for the maximum storage, of course, you would lift it all the way up. And if you need even more storage, you could do something like bed risers. But the exact measurements will vary from when you move in because not all the beds will be at the same heights when you move in. And that's something that we do deal with every year, that people who want to either raise or lower their beds upon move-in. So what we normally do is we take all of those requests and we hand them to our facilities management partners, and they will take care of those requests as soon as possible. How about the restaurant? Do we have a big dining hall just under the living place at school, or can we only buy food outside? So we have 3 dining locations on campus. The main dining location is in Meyerhoff House. It's all you eat as you please. And so we have our dining system there. Parkhurst Dining is the food service manager, and within the Meyerhoff, you have different options each day for a hot meal, a salad bar, the grill. They have pizza every day for lunch and dinner. So throughout the week, Monday through Friday, there's breakfast, not breakfast, there's lunch and dinner in the Meyerhoff. And then on the weekends, there's brunch and dinner in the Meyerhoff. We have Cafe Doris, which is located in the Fox building. Cafe Doris is more cafe style, so you can get your breakfast there. They do offer different bakery items there. They do smoothies, they do coffee, they do specialty espresso drinks. They also serve lunch there. It's a very popular lunch spot outside of the main dining area is at Cafe Doris. And there's seating in Cafe Doris, and then outside of the Fox building on Cohen Plaza, there's also outdoor seating for when it's nice outside. Then there is the grill at Glace Hall, which is in the Founders Green complex, and Glace Hall is where you would get your late night option. So Glace Hall is typically open until around 10 or 11 at night. So if you have a full day and then you want to grab something to eat, that's an option. Again, you also have a full kitchen within your unit, so you can also cook. And you can also buy food from outside. My advice is if you're using a courier service, make sure that you're around when your items come, because campus safety will not take any food deliveries for you. They will send them back, or they will need to call you to let you know that they're there. So, just be mindful of those things when you're ordering out. The lunch and dinner hours at the main hall. So Meyerhoff opens at 11 a.m. and they close 11 to 2 is the lunch period, and from 5 to 7 is the dinner period. Are air purifiers allowed? Yes, air purifiers are allowed. Do we have a supermarket, or how far is it to school? There's one very local. It's called the name escaped me. I believe it's Food Mart or something like that. I'm messing up the name right now, but there's one right up McMechen Street for those of you who will live in Founders Green. There's also there is a giant that is in Hamden, which is not too far away. If you drive, it's about a 8-minute drive or Uber. Save a Lot, that's the name of it. Thank you, Lauren. Save a Lot is the one that's closest. And then if you don't like to go into the supermarket, if that kind of thing scares you, Uber Eats, Instacart, any of those things, you can have those delivered. GoPuff. And then there's another one. I forgot the name. I think it's like We or something like that. And then like the meal subscriptions. So like Home Chef and those kind of items. You can have any of those delivered to you. So if that's more your speed, you'll be able to do that. Um, do you have any rules for ESA like caging? Yes, we do have a full ESA policy. Once you are approved, you will receive an email that will let you know that you'll need to reach out to set up an appointment to meet with me to discuss the ESA policy and all the expectations. So UArts has this thing where you could order food and pick it up at the dining hall. Do you guys have an online ordering app or system for ordering food from the dining hall? Short answer, there is one, but it only, to my knowledge, has worked in Cafe Doris. It might be different when you come in the fall, but this is definitely something I can reach out to our food service partners and ask about. But it's called Get, and that's basically the app, the name of the app, GET. It's like a little dark circle with white lettering, and you'll just enter the school, you'll enter your information. I believe you'll use your same portal, MICA portal login to log in there. And I've used it to order from Cafe Doris. I don't think it works at Glaze Grill at all, and I'm not sure about Meyerhoff House. How about the parking place, free or not in school? So there is parking, but it is not free. You will need to fill out the parking form with the Office of Campus Safety and pay the parking fees. But it allows you to park for the entire semester right in Founders Green, which is central to where you'll be living. If you're a junior or senior, there's an opportunity to also park at Founders Green, but that's the main lot for our resident students. All right, we'll take one more question, and then after that, I'll provide you again with the email. And if you think of anything else, please email us. We'll definitely respond to your questions. So we'll have time for one more if anybody wants to ask. All right. So we thank you for your time today. Thank you for being with us during this hour to explain a little more about what to expect on your way here. We are excited to be able to welcome you all to campus in August. Between now and August, send us all the questions, anything that you might be thinking about that you might feel like you not want to ask. Definitely ask us. We want to be able to answer these questions for you. Our contact information is here. You can send us an email or call, and we will return your call or answer if we're there. Our office hours are 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. And so while we're in the office, we do answer the phones and the emails. And if you do leave a voicemail, we will return your call as soon as we can. Alrighty, so. Thank you all for your time today. We hope that you have a nice day. And again, we can't wait to welcome you to campus in August. Take care, everyone.